Decades of warnings, unheeded. A prophet, Jeremiah, stood in Jerusalem's streets, his weathered face etched with despair. He proclaimed destruction was coming. No one listened to his dire prophecies. Jeremiah, a man in his 50s, long, gray-streaked hair framed his face. A full beard, a sign of wisdom. He wore a rough wool robe. He pleaded with a defiant populace, his voice strained, filled with sorrow. The city remained stubbornly deaf. He watched the horizon, dread in his eyes. The Babylonian war machine amassed, led by the formidable Nebuchadnezzar. Bronze-helmeted soldiers appeared. Their leather armor glinted under the harsh sun. They began constructing massive siege ramps, huge wooden structures, menacingly tall. The city's stone walls stood proudly, a testament to First Temple architecture. They seemed impregnable, unyielding, yet a sense of impending doom permeated the air. Jeremiah felt the city's fate closing in. The initial siege began slowly, a gradual, agonizing chokehold. Supplies were cut off, one by one. The once proud city became isolated. Jeremiah's prophecies, once dismissed, they now echoed with chilling prescience. The first plumes of smoke appeared, rising from distant skirmishes, staining the clear sky ominously. The prophet's heart ached for his people. He saw their blindness, their stubborn pride. The city's fate was sealed by their choices. He continued to warn, despite the futility. His voice, a lone cry in the wilderness. The siege tightened its relentless grip. Jerusalem's defiant spirit began to wane. Fear started to creep into the streets. The sun beat down, relentless and unforgiving. Dust swirled, carrying whispers of despair. The city's vibrant life slowly faded. Jeremiah watched, a silent, sorrowful witness. The Babylonians' presence grew stronger. Their war cries carried on the wind. The walls, once mighty, now felt vulnerable. The prophet knew the end was near, a tragic culmination of ignored truth. Jerusalem's last stand was about to begin, his heart heavy with the coming destruction. He prayed for a miracle, a change of heart, but the city remained on its doomed path. The siege engines loomed larger each day. The air grew heavy with anticipation. Jeremiah braced for the inevitable. The sky, once blue, now held a darker hue. The city's fate hung by a thread, a prophet's sorrow, a city's fall. Plumes of smoke still stained the sky, a grim prelude. The year was 586 BC. Babylonian drums thundered, a relentless, chilling rhythm. Nebuchadnezzar's army tightened its iron grip. Massive battering rams began their assault. They pounded against Jerusalem's ancient gates. Inside, the city groaned under the pressure. Famine's cruel hand gripped the populace. Children cried from hunger, their voices weak. Fear, a silent predator, spread through the streets. Hope, once a flickering ember, began to fade. Jeremiah, gaunt and weary, observed the suffering. His eyes, deep set, reflected the city's pain. He stood by a crumbling wall, his spirit heavy. The once bustling courtyards fell silent. Only the cries of the starving broke the stillness. Dust, thick and choking, filled the air. The acrid smell of burning timber intensified. Siege engines rumbled ever closer to the walls. Each impact shook the very foundations of faith. A massive crack appeared in the stone. The ancient walls began to crumble. A section gave way with a thunderous roar. Babylonian soldiers poured into the breach. Bronze helmets gleamed in the dust-filled light. Their war cries echoed through the devastated city. Chaos erupted, a maelstrom of terror. Jeremiah watched, his face etched with despair. The sacred temple, heart of their faith, stood vulnerable. Its magnificent facade still shone. For now, a flaming arrow arced through the smoky air. It struck the temple's wooden beams. Small flames licked at the ancient structure. The fire grew, consuming everything. Flames engulfed the magnificent building. The stone facade cracked under intense heat. Smoke billowed, blackening the sky. The city burned, a cataclysmic inferno. Screams mingled with the roar of the fire. Treasures turned to ash, history erased. Jeremiah stood amidst the raging chaos. He could only watch the destruction unfold. The consequences of ignored warnings were stark. A devastating lesson for all time. The once proud city became a ruin. Columns of smoke rose into the desolate sky. The temple, now a smoldering shell. Silence eventually descended, heavy and final. Only the crackle of embers remained. Jeremiah, a lone figure, surveyed the devastation. His prophecy fulfilled. Tragically, the wind whispered through the charred remains, a testament to human defiance and divine judgment. Jerusalem's last stand was over. A new era of exile began. The sun set on a broken city. Shadows lengthened over the rubble. A lone bird flew over the desolation. The silence was profound, echoing loss. When warnings are ignored, history writes the consequences. If you value calm, historical exploration of Scripture, consider subscribing. Each week, we uncover another mystery.